Welcome to another episode of Legends, the program that we interview retired ministers and those that are nearing retirement. Today we are at the home of Reverend Dr. and Mrs. Kimani Chege in Kiserian, where we want to hear their story. Having been in the ministry for quite a while, many years, both in institutional and parochial ministry, and trained most of us in ministry. Dr. Kimani Chege retired from active ministry in 17 years ago, and then 7 years from teaching at Desta University. We're happy to be here and to be welcomed, and I welcome you, the viewer, to listen to the story and the advice that we can get from them now that they're in retirement, so that we can also learn how to prepare ourselves for retirement. Thank you.
Coming up on Legends.
I found a house like this one. No sofa set, no table, nothing, no bed. It was empty, just like it was built, but and it was an old house.
Okay. So, Reverend Dr. Chege, it's not always that a student gets to interview his professor. Students are always on the receiving end of the teachers. Now you are on the receiving end of your student. But welcome. So, could you please tell us, how did you get immersed in the ministry of the PC especially?
Before I came to the ordained ministry, I was a teacher for a brief period of time. Then I joined the ministry in 1969. That's when I went for training at St. Paul's United Theological College then, which is now St. Paul's University. I went for my practical training in Nyeri, Tomotomo to be precise, Tomotomo area in a parish called Magutu.
Okay.
So in August of 1972, I was lifted from Tomotomo to Nairobi, and I was stationed at Bahati, but then working at the head office as the director of Christian education. I worked in the department, but I wanted to be ordained because, I was... I had got to train for the ministry, the parochial ministry, that is. So I asked Reverend John Gatto then, who was the Secretary General, what I can do. So I was attached to the Presbytery of Nairobi Coast, or it was Nairobi, Pwani, and Uganda, to be under them so that I could be licensed and ordained. I was attached to Bahati.
Okay.
So we had another man. He was a student. He was from Pastoral Institute. He was called James Waithaka. You see, now you are helping me to remember names.
Yes, yes.
And he was now attached there. Reverend Carol was attached, I think, at St. Andrews. I can't remember. Those now were the ones who, when they got to the time of being licensed, then I was thrown in.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and that was 1973 November.
Oh, okay. You are working in the Christian education department.
Yeah.
Now you've been licensed and maybe ordained after that. Did you ever transition into parochial ministry soon after that or after that?
Let me put very quickly. When these two gentlemen were licensed, I was licensed in 1973. In 1974, when April, when they were being ordained, then again I got ordained, but I remained in the Christian education.
Okay.
So I was posted to Chuka Parish
For the first time now.
For the first time
Okay.
as an ordained minister.
After that, you proceeded for studies.
I proceeded for studies in US.
Did you ever go back to a parish before you went into teaching?
Before I went to
teaching?
Okay, I stayed in America for 4 years. Yeah, so from 75 to 79. Yes, I came back.
Okay.
I was posted in Mombasa,
Oh, okay.
St. Margaret
Okay.
Church. Now, while I was there, then Moindi and Gato decided that I should come and do the work at this Pastoral Institute.
Okay.
Yeah, the Inorero.
So
But
you
it
started
was,
at
it was called PCA Pastoral Institute.
Okay.
So I came to PCA Pastoral Institute
Yeah.
in 1981. That one, I will tell you, the experience was not very nice.
Okay.
Because I found a house like this one, no sofa set, no table, nothing, no bed. It was empty, just like it was built, and it was an old house.
Okay.
I didn't know the water area and anything. We slept on the floor, for the first time, because our luggage had not come. But fortunately, we had come with sleeping bags for no reason. We don't know why.
Okay.
So that is what we slept on. There. The following, it was, I think, Monday, Tuesday, Reverend Crispus Kiongo came.
Okay.
And Crispus now took over and now made life a bit easier for me.
Yes.
And we started working at Pastoral Institute. Worked in Pastoral Institute. I was made Secretary of Training. There I was actually in charge of the institute. Then we were helping each other with Crispus. I told Crispus, now instead be the principal. Me, I want to be a teacher since I have this other job of training.
So let's go back to your experience in the parish before you came to Inorero. You mentioned maybe somehow, but what are the main challenges that you found in the parish those years? That
I had something that was not likable.
yes. I can almost tell.
You can only, you can tell.
Yes.
Because I was different from other PC ministers. I had a beard, and my beard was long.
Yes.
I had let it grow.
Yes.
The East African brethren completely rejected me.
Yeah.
They could not talk to me.
I can't blame them.
They, why are you keeping Satan and so on? And,
Wow, Dr. Chege, we have to take a commercial break for now. And you continue from there, viewers. And during the break, we are going to listen to his supportive wife, Mama Gaki, who has been by the side of Reverend Dr. Kimani Chege for over 50 years. And they recently celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary. And so we are going to hear from her so that we get to know the experience that she has gone through with him in the ministry. Thank you.
I am Jane Karuke Kimani, wife of the Reverend Dr. Kimani Chege. We've been married together for 50 years now. And those 50 years we were in the ministry. I married him after he had been posted. We are blessed with 2 adult daughters, Gaki and Kadure. The time I entered into the ministry, the wife was expected to be as much a minister as the minister. So when we went to parishes, I was given teaching jobs, talking to youth, talking to women. They didn't even ask me. It was automatic. I was put into the program to do some of the jobs that were being done. Of course, we were serving at a time when we didn't have many evangelists. We didn't have extra ministers. So if minister was not there, I was supposed to be there and help like him. The Christians are loving people. I experienced them when I entered in 1972. I continue to experience that love up to now. One of the things I experienced when I retired, I had the idea that when you retire, you can be able to offer your services to other places, and I found it very difficult after I retired. One thing that I really enjoyed was making sure that my husband is cared for better. Because when we both worked, we left in the morning, went to work, and came in the evening, both of us. So it was hectic.
Coming up after the break.
The two told me this. That is, where you are employed is not where you are going to live.
Welcome back, our viewers. We are at the home of Reverend Dr. Kimani Chege. We are continuing with the interview, and now we move on to what he does and how he has transitioned into retirement after active ministry. So, how have you been spending your life? And maybe we can go back. How did you prepare yourself for retirement from teaching as a minister?
I had a good friend. He just passed on 2021. He was called John Karanja, Reverend John Karanja. And with him also, I can remember the advice from the very Reverend Crispus Kiongo. The two told me this. Kwandiko tiko wotoro.
Okay.
If that is a good Kikuyu, I don't know. That is, where you are employed is not where you are going to live. When I was teaching at St. Paul's, this opportunity of buying land, the PCA bought this land.
Okay.
And the opportunity now arose for those who are interested to buy land from the cooperatives.
Okay.
So I said, okay, let me buy it. It was actually for speculation for me because Mombasa was my place. In probably 1995, we decided to build.
Yes.
By 97, the building was up.
Okay.
You see? So now, if you are talking about retirement, that is the first thing of preparation, to have your own place. We felt confident that even if we retire, we have a place to retire. Now, then, you know, the other thing is, you know, there are our pensions in the, because of work, and we started investing for at least for how we can retire. Okay. And we retired.
Okay. So now, in a nutshell, how do you spend your life in retirement? Are you engaged in ministry work or just family?
How am I? Right from the word go, me, I was and I am a minister of the Presbyterian Church.
Yes.
When I was teaching, I made sure that I'm attached to a presbytery. I always said that I am God's instrument. God used me in the way you want. So, you know, they used me as a minister, preach, baptize, went, bury, and so on. So I'm quite fully used by those who want to use. Then I am invited by others to facilitate seminars and so on. I'm a professional counselor.
Okay, yes.
So I do what we call pro bono services. I don't charge anything. But
Okay. It's good to hear that in your retirement you have enjoyed a very good working relationship with the ministers that you've been put under, though almost all of them were your students. And that is very important to hear ministers that are active in the ministry and are engaging the retired ministers and keeping them active, though retired, is very important. So if you were to go back to active ministry, what is the one thing that you think that you wish you would have done and you never did, or accomplished and you never did?
when I was in my first parish, in Chuka, I devised a method that I think if ministers could do that would be helpful. Because the parish was vast. It had, I think, about 30-something, congregations. I decided to form centers. And one of the reason, and that reason birthed another reason, which was good. One of the reason was I could not be able to reach all of them, even within a month. The parish was so vast. So I formed the centers where I brought them during the week. And I will preach it to them, I will counsel them, and then I'll give them Holy Communion. And because of doing that, I realized that something good has come. The church is cohesing. It's becoming one. They come to know each other. They come to accept each other. They come to enjoy each other. So fellowships, not necessarily the fellowship of brethren, but the fellowship where then I decided I will be teaching them even the Bible when that opportunity has happened. And with the retro knowledge of of teaching, I just come from college. So I started trying to use that knowledge that I had learned. And it worked very well. I was very happy. Even today, those I meet, they still remember and they say, and actually some of them will call me Mwarimu. Yeah, because then I taught them the Bible, the concept of Bible study. But now mine was trying to just enlighten them, to understand. So that one, I would... it was one thing which
you would want to uphold.
But then I left without realizing, that. But some of them wrote to me and they said, "Oh, we are doing well." Yes,
that was good. That was a good one. Now, before we come to the end, I'll ask this question off the cuff, though.
Yeah.
Dr. Kimani Chege is Meru.
Yes.
But the name is more Kikuyu than Meru.
It's not more.
How come?
It's Kikuyu.
Yes.
I'll answer. When I went to the US, I got a Kimani but not Chege. I got a Chege. Then, and they were not Kenyans.
Oh, yes.
They were not Kenyans.
It's true. There are several people with their names from Kenya, but they are not Kenyan.
And now I'm talking US.
Yes, in the US. I know quite a number.
They are not Kenyans. So I said, and they told me, it's a common name in our places. I said, fine, okay. Now, for me, yes, I'm culturally a Meru.
Yes.
Because I was brought up in the Meru culture. From the year 3 all the way to today. Maybe today not, because I'm in Maasai, maybe I'm embracing
Yes,
the Maasai culture. My parents were Kikuyu from Murang'a. They migrated to Meru. And then I grew in Meru. I decided that my mother's name was very important and very nice. Again, I learned that in US.
Oh, okay.
In US, they will ask you, what would you like to be called?
Yes.
What is your first name? What's your last name?
Yes.
Then I scratched my head because no one had asked me that. And I realized my first name is Kimani, not Washington.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know whether you know.
I know that.
Washington.
Yes.
Then the last name was Chege, because that's my father. This one is what we call a given name.
Yes.
But we were told by missionaries is a Christian name. And I thought any name can be Christian.
Yes.
So, you don't have to be told by the Muzungu that this is Christian and this is not. So actually that is how I decided to drop my name. and I took Kimani Chege as the name I love, because that is the name my mother gave me, the Kimani, and then I adopted my father's name, Chege, and I feel comfortable.
Thank you.
So,
thank you.
If there was a mystery, now it is solved.
I've been asked that question by somebody, so it's good that you answered that question.
Yeah,
and thank you for your time and for answering some of these questions. We need some of these discussions so that we can tap from the wealth of the retired ministers. For those of us that are not yet retired, we learn a lot of things right now, the way you handled some of those challenges. So it's a very good experience and a learning moment. And I believe our viewers will continue to learn and it will be beneficial to their ministries and also to the parishioners. Thank you so much for taking your time and welcoming us to your home. It's a very nice place and a quiet place. We thank God for you.
Thank you very much for wanting to talk to me.
Yes.
Because sometimes, ministers sometimes have forgotten.
Yeah, I know.
So now that you remember,
yes,
as retired ministers,
yes,
we thank God for that.
Yes, you did a good work, including teaching me, and I'm who I am because of the theology I received from you. So may the Lord bless you.
Thank you very much.
And your wife.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, viewers. We see you next time. God bless.
Next week on Legends.
Most of you, or some of you, remember Reverend Dr. Geoffrey Goima Bogwa, the minister who was gunned down in a very unfortunate incident, carjacking incident in the year 2001. Now today we are at the home of the widow of Reverend Dr. Goima in Thika, and we want to hear a side of the story that comes from a widow of a minister and also a lady who has been actively involved in the eldership in the PCA until her retirement.
Her life changed because now you have no husband. Now you are alone. Your friends, old friends, the one you eat and do whatever you do, the one who loves your husband, they didn't come again.